non-starting, I've solved that. I messed up. Join me on today's video as we try and go for a first start, and there is a lot going on today. So don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
There. So, and that clips into that. There we go. There we go. Right, that's that bit in place. Let's put that on there. Let's put that on there. Right. That needs to go through. To go through here. Like that. Let's tighten that up in a minute as well. Let's keep them two together. That's looking good. Down there. That's okay up there. That's okay up there. That's okay down there. Right. There's a couple of comments in the last couple of videos. Obviously there's videos on the Mark II channel as well, so you can go and have a look at that and check them out. They're more how-to guides, but they might help you if you want to work on the car yourself. I've had a couple of questions about working on subscribers' cars, or do I do private work or any other stuff like similar to that. I don't mind helping people out occasionally, but it's as and when I get time, because this is not my full-time job. I think I've covered this off before. If you are local to Essex and you want someone to have a look at your car, I've got a really good friend who lives up near Sudbury, Colchester way. He's sort of mobile, so he can move around a bit. I've passed some people his details already. I think he's actually got a job coming up this week with one of you guys who's watching these videos. So he is going to come down to me, and one of you guys is coming round here, and as long as you're happy to leave your car here and let him crack on, I don't have any problems with him working from here. And if I've got time, I'll help and possibly do a bit of filming on it and, you know, all the usual stuff. So yeah, there's a possibility. This isn't my full-time job. He is a mobile mechanic, so it is his full-time job, but he's really good at working on minis, especially the older ones and R56s. So if you've got an R56 and you want someone to give you a hand with it, he's really good. Swearing in videos, someone said about surprised you weren't swearing more when you saw the state of this car. I'll be honest, at the time I try not to swear in videos, but if you ever take the chance to watch one of the live streams, you will probably see my what's the word? It's a bit more free flowing. So yes, it's not that I don't swear. I think everybody swears. But in those videos, the live stream ones, which you can watch back, they're on the channel. I do leave them on there for a month. They are a bit more blue language. There was a couple actually where someone asked about a code reader. Code reader I use is the MK808BT Autel. So I think someone asked about the software version. I'll check that in a minute actually. I'll come back to you in a minute when I get the torque settings for this, and I'll let you know what they are, and I'll let you know what software version it's on. What else was there? Just trying to think. Not sure. There are some parts going up this week on Instagram, so if you look in the comments you'll see my Instagram handle. You can go over and add me on there. They are more engine components more than anything else. So I've got a W11 crank that I think will go on there. I think I've actually got a John Cooper Works carbon fibre gear knob still as well actually that will go on. I'm probably going to start putting some stuff on eBay. I'll leave a link to the eBay shop listing, whatever you want to call it, seller profile, blah blah blah, in the description, and I'll obviously pop a link up on Instagram as well, to try and clear out some space. Someone asked about the wheels off of this car. I'm probably going to use the X-Lite wheels. I'm not 100% sure yet, so again, thinking about it, not sure. But we'll go from there. I think I might need to put them coolant lines in on the oil cooler a bit more. I don't think they're actually on there properly, which is not a surprise. They look like they've been changed recently, not by me, by somebody else. So again, probably not done properly. This is the Autel that I'm using, so it is the MK808BT. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It's a really good code reader, does loads of cars. The only downside to it is it's a subscription one, so it means that every year you need to pay for updates. However, I've not paid for updates for many years, and it does the job that I need it to. But if you need it on newer cars, then of course you will need to update it, so it takes a little while to load. As you can see, it says expired in 2022, so a long time ago. Software version for the Mini R50, and it loads, which is loading now, is version 18. So hopefully that's answered that question somebody asked. I can't remember what your name is. I'm really sorry. I will go back through the comments on the videos and leave a little note to say that it is in this week's video, so I won't forget about it. I've said it now, so I'm gonna have to. So yes, I will do that. I will go and find whoever it was, and I will update you to say that I put it on the video. Right, we need to change over this water pump flange. Been down to BMW this morning, picked up a new one and a new O-ring as well. Let's quickly get that off. He says, you gonna get on there? There we go. The reason for changing this, which I'll show you in a minute, there's a small crack just in, it's a bit missing actually, just off the top of it. Yeah, not really sure what's going on there, because I would like to think it would have been picked up, but maybe not. And this has been cylindered on. Got the state of that. And you can just see in here there's a bit missing. So we're going to quickly clean this up. I don't even know if there's an O-ring in there. Look at that. Let's pop that out of the way for now. I'm going to quickly grab the drill. Just give that a little bit of a clean up. Quickly move this out of the way. Knock sensor wiring. There you go. That's fine. We don't have any issues there. It's nice and clean. Just grab the new one. So this flange was £12.80 from Mini. And it comes with an O-ring. It says on the order when you go into Mini or BMW that it doesn't come with an O-ring. However, it definitely does. So this is what you get in the kit. Get that, and you get an O-ring on the back. Now, that should sit that way round. So the O-ring doesn't go in this side, it goes in this side. And then you just need to pop it back on the block once the block's all cleaned up, like we have here. Just make sure the O-ring doesn't slip. So, you need to be very careful, hold it in place just enough to stop it from slipping. Start it by hand, like so. We're going to tighten it up. If the flange is looking quite old, it is worth changing it. I have had a few before where I've done the supercharger service, reused the existing flange, put a new O-ring on the back of it, and it's leaking. So, at which point, you are basically, I'm going to take it all apart again. So just bear that in mind. You can buy some kits, especially places like Mile Motorsport, where this flange is part of the kit. So if you think you'll need it and you're doing it as a one-off, we'll do it. I would have reused this one, apart from that crack. And obviously I don't want to have to do it again. And the fact that it's chipped off there, not quite sure how that's happened, but that will only progressively get worse. So there we go. That's the new one in place. Like I said, that costs £12.80, comes with the O-ring. So part number for that is, let me tell you, 517509170. So if you need one, that's the part number for it. Hopefully that helps you with that. We've also got some bolts for clutch slave cylinder, which is down here. So let me quickly show you that as well. So this bracket down here, we've got bolts for that. Now they were actually the same price as the flange, which is not good. So these are the bolts, fairly small. Probably got some of these actually somewhere, but I can't, because it come with these ones in place. Didn't know which ones we needed for that. So both of these is what was in there. Both of these are what should be in there. So they were £12, I think, for two of them. So very expensive for two bolts, which goes back to the conversation we were having, I think, earlier in the video about getting your money's worth. So let me quickly get that sorted out. I'll just pause it there for a minute. Right, this is the clutch slave tool from BMW. What we need to do is get that through the hole. So, here we go. Right, this is what it looks like. Let me zoom out a little bit. So, this is the official tool. Now, this will allow you to compress the clutch slave completely. Like so. There we go. Right. Now what we need to do is hook up the pressure bleeder. So let me quickly grab that and then I'll cut back in. The other camera, what that looks like. You can see we have some little bits there, and you see it's quite compressed. So it sits on like that. Screw it down, and we're going to undo the lead nipple in a sec. Like that. And just see if we get any air out. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's what it looks like. So I've showed this before, but pressure bleeder is connected. It needs to be between 15 and 20 psi. Clutch slave tool is in place. I haven't showed this before, but let's put on our catch tank. Is that going to be 11? Yeah, just grab that. Quickly grab that. We just want to make sure no air is going to come out. So let's just crack on with that. Nothing coming out at the moment. Have we got it yet? There we go. Yeah, we've got some air there, look. Lots of air. Hopefully you can see that. Just close that for a minute. We did get quite a bit of air come out there, which hopefully you saw
Fluids. Okay. I'm just going to quickly tap it. Hook that back up again. We've got a pressure bleed out there as well, so I appreciate it's a little bit difficult to see, but there we go. We'll give it a little bit of a tap, see if it loosens up any air bubbles that's in there. I think it's okay. Pop that back on for now. There we go. And what we can do is loosen this off a bit. So that was definitely worth doing to get some of that excess air out, because there was quite a bit in there. Tight. I think these are 10 mils. Let's go and grab that quickly. Right. These are the new clutch slave bolts that we picked up today from Mini. BMW, whatever you want to call them nowadays. Don't think these actually have a torque setting, but if you buy a second-hand gearbox, make sure this bracket is intact. There are repair kits out there for them. The repair kit is about 80 quid if you want to get like a proper one. Most people make their own ones up, but if you get one that's just not broken to begin with, it saves you a lot of bag later on down the line. So that is what I would recommend you do. Clutch slaves are made OEM by FTE, so you don't need to go and buy one from Mini if you don't want to. You can buy one from places like Autodoc, but FTE is the brand that Mini use as OEM, so hopefully that will save you some cash as well. Now these brackets are prone to snapping, so what we're going to do is just pop a little bit of grease on the back here on the bolt, and that hopefully might just help it in the future. These bolts, for what they are expensive, so be warned. Just make sure that's tight. Don't want to do it too tight because it is only plastic, so I want to be a little bit careful. There we go. Right, that sums that up. So I guess next thing to look at would be probably the supercharger. Make sure it's got some oil in it and get that back into place as well. Right, we are looking at the supercharger. checking out the condition of it. The water pump, although it looks like it is really knackered and old, is actually okay. I think it's just had a little bit of a hard life with people taking it on and off, so we're probably not going to change that. There's no reason to change it. It's all spinning okay, it all looks good. This is a Teflon supercharger. Looks okay. There's a little bit of scoring, which is quite common with the age of it, but let's what we want to do is check the oil and see how much oil we've got in there. So let's get into that. It's got a reduced pulley on it. I'm not sure if I've done the supercharger at the same time. There seems to be a new paper, is it paper, card, whatever. There's a new big horn gasket in place, so it may have been done, but yeah, I think we'll probably drain it out just to have a look and see. Have a I'll do it. And a water pump oil cooler O-ring. Get the words out in a minute. Right. Let me just zoom out a bit so you can see a little plastic container there. I will show you how much oil comes out, but well, actually is really clean. So we have oil in there. It looks quite watery, but it is quite clean. So this is what we've got. So it's a little bit crusty. Not sure if that's supercharger oil or not though. Always smell it. Yeah, that is. You can tell because it has a distinctive scent. This is new supercharger oil. So probably be good. Let me just see if I've got a spare syringe in here. So I've got a new O-ring on the water pump. I'm just going to pop a little bit of red rubber grease round the seal. That will help it go in nicely. Don't have to do this, you can go in dry, but sometimes it can catch the O-ring and split it. This red rubber grease won't degrade the seal, so that's what I use it. Obviously you can make your own choices if you want to. Right, let's have a look at getting this back on the car. We are missing a bolt still out of the supercharger, which I need to find, so I will have a look for that. But let's get this on and in place, because then it's one less thing we've got sitting in the workshop, and it's one of the big things done. So I'll quickly stop you there, set you up outside, and then we'll get back on the car. Right, have to excuse the noise. I think someone's jet washing their driveway. So we still need to find the two for this dipstick tube. Here we've got one big bolt. We need the smaller one that goes into the block down here as well, but we have the two small ones that sit on the top. So let's get this lined up, get it into place. Well, there we go. That's better. That's good.
That's good. There we go. Excellent. Right, let's put that one in there. There we go. Set this on the back. Yep. Big one through there. I'm not going to do that one up tight because I still need to find the one for down here.
That's a similar design layout to that one, so yeah, I want to keep that one
Roughly in place for now. Just line this up quickly. There we go.
Right, I'm going to quickly grab the spanner for that.
So let's make sure that's the right size. This is a 16 mil going into this top of this belt tension up. There we go. Right. We don't need that bolt, so I can go away. We need the small ones for here, and then we can start to get all this stuff back into place. So alternator, aircon pump, green seal. We need the little bolt for here as well. So yep. Right, this white plug for the crank position sensor is not in good shape. Doesn't lock into place, and I think a bit is missing. Ah, there we go. Yeah. So let's just remember which way around these go. So I'll put it on here. Red to far left, or red and blue far left, black and white stripe, middle brown and white stripe, far right. Ah, there we go. There we go. Right, let's get the other one. Right, this is an R50 loom, I believe, but it has the same plug on it here, apart from this one is in better condition. So let's get to it. So now we've got to take this off like so. Let's open this up a bit as well. There we go. Right. So we know that's got to come back. We also know this needs to come out.
because we've done it on the other one. There we go. So this is where we're at so far. Now this bit is the tough bit because we need to get that blue connector out of there, I think. Yeah. There we go. Let's just push that up a bit further. Oh, I want to get that back in a sec. Right. And then what we need to do is release these. So inside, let's see what I'll show you. Yeah. Zoom in a bit. So this is what it looks like inside with that blue connector out the way. Now there's little plastic retainers in here, these little bits here. You basically lift them up very gently, and that will allow you to pull the cable back through. So let's just try it. This is the brown one. There we go. So the brown ones come out like so. Again, just get a little very small, and what you do is you put it under here like so. You just very gently prise it up, which is difficult to see on here, but very gently that's it, very gently prise it up. Let's try it with this other one that's a little bit smaller. Very gently prise out, and then you pull it back out. And then same with this last one here. So very gently lift. It's a bit fiddly, especially when, there we go. That leaves the housing like so. Now, the red one was the last one on this side, towards the red clip. And this was what we had before, so you can see that whole top section was missing. And obviously there the internals out of it, so that was how it's been held together. And now we're back to OEM. So, job well done, I think. Okay, so update. Found the bolt for down here, so that's now in. Also got the correct dipstick tube bolts in as well, so that is also done. I'm going to quickly pop the alternator into place, and also the green seal for the supercharger. That's brand new, that's also in place as well. The only reason I'm putting these on now is because A, it makes space, and B, it's good to know how far along we are. I need to get them out, and they're going to be 13s. One sec. Right. Let's get them out of the way. And that one there as well. You can go back in after. So, alternator sits like so. 10mm bolts hold this in. Quite long bolts as well. And it's getting a bit dark, so this will be the last thing I'm probably going to do today. So there should be a bracket here. I think. have a look. There should be a bracket coming off of here. It isn't the end of the world. Again, if it's not there, I think what's happened is they've changed the gearbox, and obviously they've taken that bracket off and they've just not put it back on. You can see the cables are routed quite nicely anyway down here. So let me show you what I mean. Just drop you down a bit. Yeah, so on the Cooper S, there's supposed to be a bracket either here or here that sits, and then you can see that these have similar things to down here. They push and hold in just to keep the cable routed nice. Now at the moment you can see it's routed quite nicely anyway. This is for the throttle body, so that will obviously sit up here somewhere, probably around this side, come around here. Ideally, we'll see if we can find it. If not, I'm not overly concerned about it. It would be nice to get it back to 100% OEM. But I think some of these brackets are no longer available to order. So we'll have a look and see. But if we can't get hold of one, it is what it is. And you can see the dipstick tube bolts in for that now. That's the right one. The right one's up here, and the supercharger one is just down there. That's back in place as well. So we are all good supercharger wise now as well. Okay, let's get some power steering fluid first of all. Let's top that up. If you remember, we drained that to do the Jubilee clips and tidy it up a bit down there. Had the wrong colour fluid in it, so get the right stuff and put some of that in there. There's a couple of, I'll leave a link to these in the description, everything that goes in. It's labelled up CHF 11S, but this is the comma version of it, or the Fuchs. Normally I go for this, but this has actually gone up in price quite a bit recently, so I'll use what's in here and then top up with the other one. They're both the same, so that's not a problem. Now, this will go down quite a lot once it's started, but we're just going to move the steering wheel left and right, first of all, just to get some of it running through. But we need to get the air out when the car is running, so it probably will go down a little bit, not a huge amount. Yeah, it's gone down a little tiny bit. Now, the way that you know this is the right stuff is because it is green. If it is red, it's the wrong stuff to be using. That'll do for now. Let's pop the lid on, but again, when the car is running, we need to recheck because it will go down. Let's get some engine oil in. So on this occasion, it's a low mileage car, so we can use 5W30. If you've got a high mileage car, so 100,000 miles or more, you might want to consider going up to 5W40 because it's a bit thicker. But we are using this Manifold Energy, which just quickly show you. It's not expensive, but it actually does quite a good job. So again, I'll leave a link in the description. These take roughly 4.5 litres, but the sump's been off, so it will take probably a little bit more. But it's not a problem because it's actually better. We want to be making sure we're using clean oil, especially on a car that's had a bit of a hard life. I think definitely a hard last year. Right, so this is the setup that I use. So I'm using MTF 94, 2 litres, because it takes just under 2 litres to fill the gearbox back up. And I use the pump bottle with this like metal hook on the end, so you can hook it into the gearbox. Now, you can get a syringe, but the syringe ones do make a lot of mess. This is generally the easiest way that I found to do it. It's a bit of hard work because you've always got to pump it all in, but it goes reasonably quick. I'll show you how we get this into the car. And then obviously I'll time lapse getting the whole lot in, and then we'll talk through the process at the end. Got an airbox. It's missing, the one that comes off the car is missing these 2 bits here. There is one, which I found earlier, down the back, which I left up here. So I can put that back in. These just slide in like that, basically. So they just sit in there, like so, and then allows you to position it onto here. Before I do that, let's get rid of this labelling off of it. There we go. Right, now these can be a bit of a pain to fit. It should be that. Now there's a resonator that goes in here, and the part of the front panel guide sits in here as well. So we do need to get them. I'm just grab a new air filter to pop in. So we've gone for a Bosch, decent brand. Let's chuck that in there. Which is a bit of a funky filter. It just sits in like that. Make sure it's all tucked in nicely. There we go. Back of the top of the airbox, so this is a stock airbox now, rather than the cone filter they had in there. It's got 2 little hooks and they go over the back, so normally what I do is slot them in first and then close down the lid. So a bit like, it's difficult to show, but it sort of goes under the top and then pushes down. It should sit quite nicely. Actually it does. So make sure it's on the back there, because this battery cable always gets in the way. As you can see. That's better. Yeah, you can sort of feel when it's right. So let me just come on, what these are, these T25s. Yeah. That's it. Just close that down. A lot of these, as they get older, they wear out because you're basically just screwing into plastic. There's no guide as such for them. So let me just see if this is the same, because if it is, what we have to do is just put cable tie around the edge of it. Yeah, I don't think this had the resonator pipe in here at the very beginning. I can't really remember. There we go, that's a bit better. So it will go around the edge like that, and then we'll just cut off the excess. Like so, there we go. It's quite a big clamp to use on that, so let me see if I've got something a bit smaller and let me see if I've got a resonator pipe. So I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to stop you there so you're not waiting, and see if we've got a resonator and ECU cover as well. Actually, let me get them back in before I shoot off. So they can now go in as well. There we go. And that one up there. Go back in as well. Let me just cut that off. There we go. And the bags were over it just to stop any water from getting in there while the engine was out. Put it around here a little bit. Pop that back in there. Like so. That can slot. Like that. There we are. Not sure why the tape's come off of there, but let's put that one back in to there as well. That slots up. Goes in like that. And it comes round. It sits on top of all of that, like so. There we are. Right, so we need ECU cover, spring clip, different Jubilee clip for down the bottom, and that little bit of pipe that goes in there. So I'll be back in a sec and see what we can find. Okay, we don't have a radiator in place, so we're not going to be starting it for long. Disconnected the coil pack down the back here, so just taking this plug off just to build up some oil pressure first of all, because it's not been started for a while. I'm going to see if we got the starter turning over, because don't forget we've got a new starter in as well. But that is something else to add into the equation. So one more time. Just going to get the oil circulating around the engine. Right. Now let's put the coil pack wiring back into place. Just going to lock the car for EWS purposes. Right, this will be first start properly, hopefully. Not a good start. Very strange. We've had quite a lot off, so let's just make sure we don't have anything obvious unplugged. Starter's turning over. That wiring is in. Lambda sensor is in. Map sensor wiring is in. Right, we have the results. Let's have a quick look. So DME gearbox engine, the codes, it says, come on, crankshaft sensor 1 malfunction present. Okay, that might be why it's not starting then. Let's erase the codes, see if it comes back. No fault codes detected. So a quick look at the others while we're in here. ABS. There was a speed sensor issue to begin with, but it should have changed. Front right wheel speed sensor. Right. I've changed the suspension strut with the wheel speed sensor at the same time. So they're old codes. So let's just see if they come back. That's fine. Don't forget we've had to rewire the plug on the crankshaft sensor as well, so it is possible that that's not fully in, but we will see. The codes. That's battery, that's fine. That's just because the battery's been off for a while and the battery's got low. It's probably where it was sitting before, to be fair. And a lot of these will be down to light bulbs that aren't on because the front bumper's off the car. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, right. I'm not going to erase those ones because not really bothered about them at the moment. But let's pop you back around the front of the car and see if it will now start. I don't have much hopes, to be honest, because that crankshaft one probably has come from down here. Let's just make sure. It's definitely on the plug properly, but it's possible that where we've repinned it, we might have an issue. So, but that will stop the car from starting. So, right, non-starting. I've solved that. I messed up when I repinned this crank position sensor down here. I got the cables all the way around. The red should be on the top, the brown should be on the bottom. For some reason, I've done it twice. So I unpinned it, put the brown on top, thought that ain't right, took it apart again, and done it again, and still done it the wrong way. So I think I must have been having a bad day, but it is sorted now. So that's the main thing. We do have a bit of a running problem now that it's starting, so let me quickly start the car and show you what it's doing. Got the key? Yeah. I'm not going to run it for long because obviously we don't have coolant, but yeah, so as you can hear, that is it's not good. And then the heavens opened, and just like that, the rain started and it just didn't stop. It went on and on and on. So it's probably a good place to put a stop to today's video. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think could be causing the poor running on this engine, and we will get into the fault finding, diagnosis and get it rectified on next week's video. Thanks for watching. See you all soon.